Hey, Bob here. Today is October 13th, 2025. And just occurred to me that I haven't been in touch with my YouTube page for a while. And I want to let you all know that I haven't put any guitar making content out lately. Not because I'm ill or anything like that, but we have decided to move. And we're moving from Dr. Phillips over to a 55 plus community called Heritage Hills. And it's in Clermont, Florida. About 15 miles from my driveway. From my driveway to the Heritage Hills neighborhood community is 15 miles. And we did put an offer on a home, and we negotiated a little bit, and we got the home. So the last probably 2 to 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks, we have been packing boxes. We rented a storage shed, air conditioned, 2.6 miles from our new home. So typically what I'll do is we'll pack a bunch of boxes, like, a dozen or more, and I'll make the trip over to Heritage Hills and drop them off at the air-conditioned unit, organize them, and then after I do that, I'll drive the 2.6 miles to our new home, even though we haven't taken ownership. We close on it the 29th of October. So this morning, being a holiday, Columbus Day, I decided after dropping off a bunch of boxes to the storage unit that I would make a little trip over to my favorite place to go walk and be with nature. And you all know what that is, Lake Louisa State Park. I haven't been here for about 3 months, something like that, maybe a little bit less, I can't remember exactly, but it's been a while. And of course, one of the perks of moving to Heritage Hills is that Lake Louisa is now only 6 miles from my driveway, my new driveway inside of Heritage Hills. And that's quite a benefit because I plan on buying either an individual or a family annual pass. I think the family pass is $120 or $140, something like that. I know the individual pass is $60 because the guy told me at the gate this morning when I came in here. Daily pass for somebody, single individual, daily pass is $4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm going on this short little walk. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that this is one of my favorite walks in here. It's an equestrian trail. And just thought I'd come over and do a short walk. I don't even have a backpack on today. I have a bottle of water in my pocket and a bag of green grapes in my pocket. And that's it. This little hike here is, I don't know, maybe 3 miles max. So anyway, I'm heading back toward my car now. And I just thought I'd check in, let you all know what's going on. Desmond Guitars, I'm still building, even though I'm retired. I'd like to think I'm retired from the business of making classical guitars, but I'm not. I haven't retired from the actual making classical guitars. And of course, I have to move a lot of stuff. I'll be moving 2 workbenches to my new garage. And the only good thing this time is we have a 3-car garage. So I will take the small 1-car bay, and we'll leave the 2-car bay so that Teresa and I can finally keep our car in our driveway, in our garage. So that'll be nice. We decided to sell our Winnebago Travato 59G camper van. It's depreciating in our driveway and haven't used it because of the summer months being so hot here. And the other issue is essentially I've lost my eyesight in my right eye. So driving it on long trips really isn't a smart idea anymore. And we also, even though we're allowed to keep a Class B camper van in our new driveway, I don't really want to do that to the neighbors. They can become an eyesore. And so we have a buyer, and I won't mention his name, but he is an RV buyer. What he does is he buys RVs, he flies, he's from Quebec, he gets in a plane, and he flies to the location where the RV is, and he sends a $4,000 check as a deposit. At that point, I have to take the listing off of Facebook Marketplace. I've had it listed for about 4 months, and I have not had any serious buyers. It's in mint condition, no modifications, only 13,000 miles. So we are selling it, I don't want to say cheap, but we're taking a bit of a hit, selling it for $74,000, which is $10,000 less than I'd like. But I won't have to worry about it anymore. And if the time comes where we ever decide to buy another camper van, I've kind of learned my lesson never to buy a new camper van because they depreciate so quickly. So he's coming on I think it's Halloween. We close on the 29th. We have not put our house in Dr. Phillips, where we have lived for 37 years. We've made wonderful memories, 37 years worth of memories there. That's where I lived all throughout my roller coaster ride with Disney, which lasted about 25 years. And yeah, we're gonna put it on the market. We've got it in good shape now. We always take care of it, so there's not really that much to do. However, I do have a railroad in the backyard, a model railroad, and I may have to take the entire thing down And if I do, it's going to take a few weeks to do the whole thing. So I think what we're going to do is show the house with the railroad, get it on the market within the next few weeks, possibly, and see if we have any people interested in buying the house with the model railroad in the backyard, because it's pretty awesome. Not every house comes with a almost 500 foot long model railroad. And but if somebody wants the house and doesn't want the railroad, then I've got a bunch of work ahead to do. At that point, we will own the other house, the new house, and we will have started moving things in there. We may even be living in there at that point. We're paying cash for the new house, and it's not cheap. It's not going to leave us cashless, but we're using a lot of our regular cash and dipping into some of our CDs, which we'll take a hit on. The good news is the house that we are moving into is about $150,000 less than the house that we're selling. So even if we lose a little money on breaking a CD or two, we'll still be way ahead. And I'm not going to say that it hasn't been stressful. The reality of, it's one thing to go out and look at new houses, but the reality is once you make an offer and it's accepted and you have the inspection, and then that amount of time runs out. I think it's 10 days after you make the final offer and you both agree to it. You have, I think you have, well, I know you have 10 days from that point until you can no longer get out of the contract. You have to get it inspected, which we did right away. And there are just a few little things which the buyer isn't doing anything about. The seller isn't doing anything about. And that's fine. They're just little pitsy things. We're going to have a new floor. We're going to get one of those, not epoxy floors, but one of those sparkly coatings that's many times better than an epoxy floor. We're going to have that done in the garage before we move in. He's got some stains on the garage floor from his golf cart, and we think some battery acid somehow came out of his golf cart and made these stains. Not only that, but there's a metal hurricane strengthening bar on the garage door, the single garage door, and it's all rusted for some reason, and we think it's from some kind of an incident with a golf cart battery, because that's the bay where he keeps his golf cart. Anyway, they're getting ready to get out of there. I pass the house every few days. He always has the garage doors open, and I just peek. I haven't made any contact with the owner yet. But anyway, so that's about what's new. It's all about moving at this point. And I feel very fortunate to come over to this beautifully serene place. Now I'm coming back on one of the main trails. I'm curious if there's anybody around. Gonna kind of look both ways before I start shooting my mouth off too much here. This part is called Pine Point for obvious reasons. And we're just doing a slow walk back to the car. I'm probably a mile from the car right now. So anyway, that's what's new with Bob. The guitars, finishing the 2 new guitars, that is on hold. I'm gonna wait until I get my new workshop set up. And of course we move our quote unquote stuff, all the boxes of stuff. Stuff is usually the things that you don't use, and we've got at least 60 boxes so far. And little by little, I'll be moving that stuff into the garage in a very neat and organized way. Might have to put in some shelving that comes down from the ceiling, but in any case, or against the walls. But the idea is to get everything moved in and eventually continue with the new guitars. And if you follow my page, you'll know that the new guitars are together. Have to start decorating the edges and the bottom strip where the sides meet. I did buy a couple of cheap guitar cases from Musician's Friend, which I will store those new guitars in. I'll just pop them in there and be able to transport them over to the new house with all of the other guitars. I think I'll be transferring almost 20 guitars, mostly ones that I made, and then a couple of few personal guitars, maybe a handful of those. We're at my favorite place on this trail. It's kind of like a horseshoe. You zoom out a little bit for the rest of this little hike. It's very quiet here. It's a Monday morning. It's around 10 o'clock right now. And like I said, I've already gone to the storage unit, dropped off my stuff, and I wanted to hit Lake Louisa. And then I'll be heading to the neighborhood, which is 6 miles from here. Well, it's about 5 miles to the neighborhood. It's 6 miles to my house, my new house. I'll take a trip over there because I'm here. And then after that, I'll head home. And today is a holiday, but there's always lots to do. One of the cool things I did yesterday is with the help of my brother-in-law, we cleared off one of my workbenches, which was full of stuff, junk, not junk, but guitar making stuff, and cleared it off. And with much effort, I removed the top to lighten the load. And we moved the workbench out of the garage, and that enabled me to get behind it into the shelving units that were built in the garage. There's shelves behind that particular bench and boxes full of old photographs from my Boston days, my first 10 years as a professional photographer. Many of the assignments that I shot, hundreds back in those days, plus family photos, they were all in boxes behind that workbench. So it enabled us to not only take apart the workbench so we could transport it, but to get to those boxes that were hiding behind that bench on these built-in shelves. Ah, hawk. I know that sound. We have them in our neighborhood. But anyway, I'm taking my main Almia bench Almia benches were made in Europe, and they don't come cheap. I bought one 30 something years ago, about 32 years ago, 31 years ago. And I've had it, that's been my main workbench. And I made about 4 or 5 others. But at this point, I will only be taking 2 out of the 4 that are in my garage. And I have another one in one of the guitar rooms right next to the garage. And I sold one as well. Matter of fact, the lady that bought the one that I sold, she wants the other one that matches it. I made them both, and I might keep that one. But I'll be transporting either 2 or 3 workbenches over, and a few machines, my band saw, my scroll saw, and my power miter chop saw. And I'm keeping those ones. And I have a bench top drill press, a nice Delta one. I'm keeping that. And I have a 6-inch disc and 4-inch belt combination sander. I'll be keeping that. So I'm really just going to my new place with the bare bones of my old workshop. I sold all my big machines in April of this year. So it's going to be quite a downsized shop. However, I don't plan on starting any new guitars. I plan on finishing the ones that I'm doing. And I have a lot of French polishing to do. And, can all happen in a timely manner. Just turned 71 a few days ago. I'm in reasonably good health. My legs feel good, even though I've got a torn meniscus still. I can still come out here and do this, which I love. And I am down to about 1.5 eyes or 1 1/3 eyes, but I'm grateful for my good eye. This is a little bridge that I always love to come and walk on. This is called Big Creek. Right now it's way down, but during hurricanes, this goes up about 5 feet, and this whole area in here gets flooded. This is another section of the park over here, which I've hiked quite a lot. Not today though. It's very quiet here right now. Used to be a picnic bench over this direction, but they took it out. It was totally submerged underwater during the last hurricane. This was all flooded in here too. This is Pine Point. This is officially Pine Point Campground. It's a, what do you call it? It's a campground that has no running water, no electricity. The word is escaping me right now. But this is the campground, and every once in a while, you'll see people with tents having a great time right in here. You see a picnic table over there. Dispersed camping, I guess that's what it's called. And there's nobody around today, which surprises me. The campground is rather full. I haven't been to the beach, but the temperature is quite lovely. It was a little bit chilly this morning, so we're finally getting into the good part of the season, the Florida season. It's very comfortable right now. And just a lovely Monday morning holiday, 13th of October, 2025. And I guess that's about it. Just finish up and say that my new home, our new home, is quite large. 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths, giant kitchen for Teresa, bigger than the one we have now, that we've had for 37 years. Giant lanai, and for those of you who don't know what a lanai is, essentially it's a porch. Giant lanai, really big and caged. I don't have to mow the lawn there. They have a service that does the entire community. I think there's 1,150 homes or 1,180 homes, something like that, in the community. So no more mowing, no more trimming bushes. They do it all. They paint the house every 5 years. The house that we bought is 11 years old. It's got 2,300 square feet, so it's by no means a tiny house. 3-car garage, brand new roof. The air conditioner is 6 years old, 2019, so that's good. And beautiful brick driveway, paver driveway. Quiet community, 55 plus, and most of the people that are in there are my age. So it's very quiet. You're not going to see any hot chicks walking on the street anymore, or any kids going by on scooters. It's really, hate to say it, it's almost like an elderly community. And I seem to be in that category now. I don't know how it happened, because in my mind I'm still 30. But life is happening in real time. And, you know, I'm not immune to physical problems, even though I'm healthy. I have a healthy lifestyle, I always have. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I exercise and I don't overeat. And still, I've had issues, probably hereditary. But anyway, I would say that once you turn 70, it's a wake-up call. Things are different. Because you're essentially looking at your mortality. And now I'm 71. How did that happen? Because the past year has gone by really quickly. I have to make a decision right here. Thankfully, I know this place like the back of my hand. It's very interesting turning 70, because average lifespan for a male is something like 77 or 78. It's definitely gone up because of medical improvements throughout the decades and centuries, whatever. But still, you know, I love Christmas, and I think to myself, how many Christmases do I have left? You know, 71, am I going to live to be 81? That's only 10 years. Well, there's some people coming right now, and I'm going to check out. So, Bob, signing out. I hope you all have a great day.